Hi, my name is Katerina and I'm an occupational therapist with the Windsor Essex Community Health Center. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, we will be doing the level 2 range of motion and strengthening exercises. Okay, so for the exercises in the next 30 or so minutes, you will need hand weights if you have some lightweight hand weights. If you don't, you can use a water bottle. You can also use a can of soup. And then for the second portion of the exercises today, we'll be using a TheraBand, okay? So grab that or use a pair of nylons pantyhose if you have it, or you can just do the exercises without the TheraBand. I will show you some modifications throughout the exercises. If at any time you feel like you need a break, please pause this video and take a rest. And if there's an exercise that doesn't feel right, please stop, okay? So let's get started. Make sure you're seated in a nice sturdy chair. Your feet are flat on the floor, and you have your hand weights or your water bottle, your can of soup. And we're going to start with our hands at our sides, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to start with a nice shoulder shrug, okay? So what we're doing is we're trying to bring our shoulders up to our ears and then bringing our hands, trying to reach for the ground. So the full range is coming up to our ears and then reaching for the floor, okay? What I'd like to do is about 8 to 12 reps of each exercise. Of course, go at your own pace and just take your time with the exercise. But if we can get 8 to 10 reps in, that would be great, okay? And then you can always progress as we go along. Good, so we'll do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Shake that out a little bit. Now we're just going to do one shoulder at a time. So if we start with the right and all the way down, left, all the way down. Really trying to just get that shoulder up to your ear, trying not to move your whole upper body, trying not to move your head to reach your shoulder. One more each side. Good job. Okay. So the next one, again, sitting up nice and tall, make sure those shoulders are back. Our elbows will be bent slightly, and what we're going to do is just a shoulder blade squeeze. So what it is I'm bringing my elbows to the back of the room, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and then coming forward and giving myself a hug. Okay, so we're just squeezing back, squeeze, trying to get those elbows to the back of the room, and then coming forward. So from the side, you can see that my elbows are coming back, squeeze, and then coming back around. Okay, so let's do a few more of these. Again, you want to make sure that you're breathing through the exercise. So a good way is to count, right? So if we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Excellent. Shake that out a little bit. Like I said, take a break, grab a sip of water if need be. The next one we're going to do is the shoulder circles. So let's start forward. Sort of imagine that you're rowing a boat, okay? So we've got to get those shoulders moving. Really try to open up, okay? So get the arms really involved, trying to roll them forward towards the computer screen. Good. Okay, let's do a few more. Now let's try to do just one arm at a time. So let's start with the right, almost like we're swimming, the front stroke. Okay, so do a few like this. Good job. Awesome. One more each side. Good. Okay, now we're going to go backwards. So we're going to take both of those shoulders again and we're going to row backwards. Really trying to reach back as far as you can. Good job. Nice and controlled. Good. If at any point you can put the weights down, okay? You know your limits. Awesome. One more. Now let's try going one arm at a time again. So we're going to go back. Good. Really trying to reach back, almost like the backstroke, right? Awesome. Good job. Good. All right. The next one we're going to do is when we're bringing our arms out straight in front of us, crossing them over, and then coming back out to the sides. Okay, so nice and controlled. Let's get the left over the right, and then the right over the left. Okay, so this is the one version of the exercise, right? If you feel like that is a little bit too much, you can lower your arms a little bit, bring them sort of in front of your chest or your stomach. And then the other option is to bend at the elbows a little bit and cross your arms in front, okay? And then of course, the other option is to just do this exercise without the weight, okay? So choose your option, and then you can progress as you've done these exercises a few times. Good job. 2 more. Good. All right. Now, the next one we're going to do is bringing our arms out into external rotation. So if you can, you'll still hold the weights. Your elbows are now going to be tucked in at your sides and your arm sort of at 90 degrees. Okay. And what we're doing is our shoulders stay in place and only our forearms are rotating out toward the computer screen. And then you're going to squeeze them in. Excellent. Okay, so we're going out to the sides as far as you can, and then you're squeezing back in. Now, if you're having trouble with this movement on one side and you're not able to stretch out all the way, okay, so I'm just going to put my weights down, but you keep going if you can. The other modification you can do is, let's say you can get your arm to about here, then you have the stronger hand and it can help push it open a little bit more, right? So then you squeeze them together. So my arm's coming out, I can't quite get all the way, so the stronger hand comes across, holds it there for a minute, and then pulls it back in, okay? So those are sort of your options there for a modified external rotation. And again, of course, you can do these exercises without the weights, right? Good job. All right, I'm going to grab my weights again. And what we're going to do is shoulder flexion. So what I'd like is our hands at our sides. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring our arms up, forward, good. And then all the way back down. So reach as far as you can to the back of the room and then reach all the way up. Okay, the options are, right, if you have some shoulder rotator cuff issues, just bring your arms to 90 and then all the way back down. The other option, always an option, is to do these exercises without the weight. So reach out as far as you can and then coming straight back down. Good job. Okay, let's do 2 more together, then we'll alternate. So 1, 2, good. Now let's alternate. So we'll just do the right, left, right, left. Good job. Okay. Right, so it's almost like we're alternating, like if you were cross-country skiing, right? Good. Let's do 2 more. 1, 2. Good. Now, we've gone out to the front, excuse me, so now we're going to go out to the sides, right? So, almost like we were in the sand and we're trying to make a sand angel maybe. So we're trying to keep our arms as straight as we can and bringing them out to the sides, all the way down, all the way up, okay? Again, be mindful of your shoulder. You don't have to take your arms all the way over your head if you're having some pain, and you can always put the weights down and do these movements without the weights, okay? Excellent. Let's do a few more. Good. Now, let's try to alternate. So we'll do just the right, just the left, just the right. Good. Let's do 1 more on each side. Good job. Okay. All right. So the next exercise, I'm going to put these weights down. If you can keep hold of them, but I just find it easier to demonstrate without. I want to make sure that you're seated a little bit forward in your chair, meaning that you've got some space behind you. So because for the next exercise, what we're going to do is bring our hands behind us, okay? So again, make sure you're just sat forward in your chair. Obviously, you want your feet flat on the floor, okay? I don't want you sliding off the chair. So make sure that you've got a good base of support there and just enough space that you can comfortably move your arms back behind. All right, so what we're gonna do is bring our elbows back, squeeze those shoulder blades together, try to tuck our hands, and when you're, get your hands behind, see if you can grasp them, okay? If you're not able to do this, I want you to aim for your hips, aim for your back pocket, try to reach that arm back as much as you can, okay? We don't want this to be more painful, so please, if this is as far as you can tolerate, stay there, okay? So when you get your hands back, what I'd like you to do is stretch them out behind you. So if your hands are clasped together, I want you to reach for the seat of your chair, okay? That space that we left, let's try to reach there and stretch out our neck a little bit, side to side, just gently, trying to open up. Excellent. Good, okay? Now, let's bring those hands up and try to reach our shoulder blades. So if your hands are all the way behind, you're gonna try to reach between those two shoulder blades, and then you're gonna slowly come back down. So we're gonna do this a few times, okay? If you're here at your hips, what you're gonna do is try to draw a line, like you have a seam in your shirt, up and down. Okay, excellent. Good. If you're here at your back pockets, again, you're just trying to go up and down. Really trying to open up here at the chest, okay? Good job. We spend so much of our time sort of curled up in front, right? We really do need to work on that extension piece. This will help with our posture as well. Good job. Okay, now you can take those hands back in front. Good. Take a nice deep breath, grab a sip of water if you need to. We're going to go back a couple more times. All right, so when you're ready, you're going to get your hands together at the back or on your hips or on, you know, sort of where your back pocket would be. This time I want you to draw a big circle, okay? So if your hands are all the way behind, I want you to try to reach for as far to the left as you can, as far to the right as you can, as far down as you can, as far up, okay? Trying to make a big circle. So once you've got that, we're gonna do that about 3 or 4 times. Then I want you to try to go the opposite direction. If you're on your hips, you're just making smaller circles. You're just really trying to rotate, get that movement there. If you're at your back pocket here, again, you're just making smaller circles, okay? And then going the opposite way. Good. Bring your hands back around. Last time we're gonna go back, okay? So when you're ready, let's reach, get those elbows back, squeeze those shoulder blades together. This time, what I want us to do is we're just gonna flap our elbows a little bit, right? We kind of look like chickens. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna point your elbows towards the front of the room and then your elbows back. It's not a big movement, okay? Just be mindful if you have any pain, sore, stiffness, just relax, okay? You don't have to move as much. Just do what you can tolerate. If you're here on your hips, right? So I would elbows to the screen, elbows to the back of the room. Elbows, yeah, just like that. Okay, or back here. Whatever your modification is. Good job. Okay, bring your hands back around. I'm gonna get my weights again. We're gonna do the bicep curls next. Okay, for this one, you may be able to increase your weight as well. So you always have the option, you know, if you wanted to increase your weight, I can grasp these because they're small in both hands. Or, you know, if you have a heavier weight at home, or if you have a reusable bag, you could put a couple of cans in a bag versus just one. So it's up to you, okay? But for this, I'll just show you one with a can of soup and one arm with the 2 weights, okay? Sitting up nice and tall again, feet flat on the floor, and we're gonna come all the way up to our shoulders and then all the way back down. Good. Right, again, making sure you're sitting up nice and tall and only those arms are moving, right? You don't need to rock your body back and forth. You need to be sitting up nice and tall. Good, full range. So all the way up and then all the way back, straightening out those elbows. Excellent. Good. Good job. Let's do 2, 1. Good. This next time, we're going to go all the way up and then only halfway down. So you're coming up to your shoulders and then going to about your elbow height. Okay? So let's do a few like this. 3, 2, 1, and then all the way back down. And then this time, all the way down, halfway up. Okay, so again, down to your elbow height. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. Now let's alternate. So we'll do the right, left. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. And this last one, we're going to pulse. So what that means is we're going to take our hands halfway to our elbow height, and we're just going to go up and down a little bit. So let's see if we can pulse for 10. Okay, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. All right. Now, we're going to work a little bit on that wrist and forearm. So this next one's called pronation and supination. Okay, I'm going to keep the weights in my hands. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn our wrists over so our palms are facing the ceiling. Okay? And then what we're going to do is rotate them down. So now our palms are facing the floor. So one hand I'm going to use a weight, and one hand I won't. So you're going open, and then you're turning them back down. So to the ceiling, to the floor. Okay? The modifications here, you can keep your arms out straight in front of you. Okay? And then you can put them sort of in at your chest or stomach level. And then you can also bend at the elbows, giving your arms a little bit of a break. And then the last one would be is if you need some support, I'll use my lap. But if you had a little bit of a table, you could just support your arms on a table and just rotate. Okay? If you have some range of motion limitations in this area, what you can do is one, the weaker side, you try to turn it as much as you can, and then that stronger side can come and help stretch that out. Okay? So again, so if I have my hands like this and I'm turning them over, but I can't quite get it, you always have that option of stretching it out with that stronger hand. Good. But of course, if you can handle that weight and just make those full range, that's great too. Okay, I'm going to grab the weights again. This time we're going to do wrist extension and flexion. Okay, so my hands are out in front. This would be sort of level 1. And then my wrists are coming up and down, up and down. Only my wrist, okay? So up and down, up and down. You can always, again, bend at your wrists, bend at your elbows and just do the wrist movement from here. So again, up, down, and then you can use your lap or a table for support, bringing that wrist up and down. So just my wrist up and down, okay? So like you're on a motorcycle or something, you're just trying, it's not a big movement, you're just trying to get that wrist up and down. Good job. Okay, 2 more. Good. All right, now we're gonna put the weights down and we're just gonna stretch out and move those wrists and fingers. Okay, so let's do wrist circles first. Good, now go the other way. Good job. We're gonna make tight fists. So make tight fists like you're making lemonade, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then you're gonna open up fully, trying to really spread those fingers apart. Good. And then squeeze, squeeze, squeeze again. As tight as you can, squeeze, good. And then open up those fingers as far, yep, spread them, good. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze one more time and open up. Okay, now that our hands are open, what I want you to do is just try to get those fingers to close, okay? So from this angle, right? So we're opening and then just closing at the fingers, like the webbing between our fingers. That's what we're trying to stretch out and extend. Okay, so let's do that a few times. Yeah, that's good. Keep going. Good. All right, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze again. Open. Shake out those fingers a little bit. The next one we're going to do is we're going to touch each fingertip to our thumb. Okay? Good. So we'll start with the first finger, open, middle finger open, ring finger open, baby finger open. Okay? So let's do that a few times. You can go as quickly as you need to. Okay? You can do both hands at the same time. If you need to concentrate on one hand, you can definitely do one hand at a time, and you can also help with the other hand if needed. Okay, let's do a few more. Good. Give me the thumbs up. Good. Now what about 2 or the peace sign? And now once you're here, what I want you to do is just flex at all those knuckles, making bunny ears or air quotes. Okay, now 3 fingers up and do the same thing. Good. 4 fingers up, thumb in. Good job. Thumbs up again. Awesome. If you can, let's put your hands together, okay? Trying to sort of put them in that prayer, good position. And just try to bring your elbows up if you can, and then elbows down. Elbows up. Good, giving those fingers a good stretch. Elbows down. Good. Back in. Good job. All right, shake that out. The second part of the video, we're going to use the TheraBand, okay? So the first exercise, we don't need a lot of the band, okay? So if we're going to get set up, we just need a little bit of band, you know, maybe about 4 or 5 inches just in front of us, all right? I want you to make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall again. Roll those shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall. All we're doing here, okay, as you can see, my elbows are tucked in at my sides and my arms are bent. All I'm going to do is squeeze my shoulder blades together and then relax coming forward, okay? So squeeze your shoulder blades and then release. Okay, so you're squeezing those shoulder blades. As you squeeze your shoulder blades, it's going to bring your elbows back, right? So you're squeezing. Again, not a big movement. As you can see the band here, there's not a lot. And I'm just squeezing my shoulder blades together. Good. And again, just like the other exercises, you know, if you can aim for 8 to 12 repetitions of each one, everybody's going to be going at their own pace, okay? Good. So let's do 2 more. Good job. Good. Okay, now let's give ourselves a little bit more band this time. And we are going to put our left hand on our chest, okay? And then the right hand, I'm just going to turn so you can see. The right hand is going to come down and back, okay? So elbow is at 90 and I'm just reaching back, squeezing those triceps and coming forward. Okay, so let's do a few more. So you're reaching back, coming in, okay? Always the modifications, give yourself some more band, okay? If you find that this is a little difficult, if you're finding it's not giving you enough of a challenge, tighten up on that band. Try a different color band. The darker the band, the more the resistance, okay? Also try doing more repetitions. If you can master 8, then aim for 12. Good. Okay, so let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. And then we're going to switch now. So the right hand is going to come to the chest. The left arm is going to come down, right? Good. So I'm going to tighten mine up a little bit, all the way back and in. Good. Okay, so you really want to reach back and try to squeeze those triceps when you're back. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. The next one, we need a little bit more band. Okay, maybe at least, I would say at least shoulder width distance. And I want you to just practice one, making sure you have enough space on either side of you that you're not going to hit anything. okay? So this exercise, we're coming out in front, and then we're stretching out as far as we can, okay? And then slowly coming back in. You want to make sure that you come slowly back in so that the band doesn't snap back and hit you, right? And that your arms don't sort of run away, right? So you don't want them just kind of shooting back. Good. Okay, so you want it nice and controlled there and on the way back. Good. That goes for any of these exercises. Okay, once you've stretched it out, you don't want to come too fast on the way in. You don't want to lose control of the band and your arms. Good. Let's do 2 more. Okay, your other option with this one is to do it without the band, and you always have the option of doing one arm at a time if you need it, okay? So one arm would hold the band, and then the other one would come out to the side. Good. All right, so for the next few exercises, we're just gonna get this positioned under our feet. My band's long enough that I can put it under my feet, okay? But if you're taller than me, you have nice long limbs, you may have to put it under your thighs or your knees, okay? Or maybe you just have a short piece of band. And so you'll find that when we start these, you can readjust if needed, right? For the first one, we don't need a lot of band, okay? So what I suggest is you sit up nice and tall, and then you try to just wrap the band around your hands maybe once. If you don't feel the tension, then I would try maybe wrapping it again, okay? This one should feel that even though you're sitting up nice and tall, you should feel the band's trying to like pull your arms down. But so you're gonna work a little bit harder trying to keep that band from pulling your arms down, right? Trying to keep your back nice and tall and shoulders back. This one, we're just gonna do that shoulder shrug again, okay? So like I said, you're just trying to come up, and it should feel like the band is trying to pull your hands down to the floor, okay? So again, shoulders up, shoulders down, good. Really trying to touch those ears, and then come back down. Okay, let's try to alternate. So we'll just go one shoulder at a time. What you want to do is try to keep these elbows straight, okay? Don't bend the elbows, because then we're using different muscles. Try to keep your arms nice and straight at your sides and just move your shoulders up. Good. 2 more together. 1, 2. Good job. Okay, now loosen that band up, okay? This time, we're gonna come out to the sides. So again, as you saw, I just kind of undid the band, and I'm just grasping it now. I didn't wrap it around my hands. Depending on what length you've got, you may have to readjust. And for these ones, like I mentioned, if you find it's too tight, you may just want to come up underneath your knees or your thighs, okay? So we're going to do that V first. So we're going to come up. I don't want you coming really past your shoulder height, okay? And again, you have the option of doing one arm at a time. You do what's best for you. You could also do this without the band if needed, okay? So let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Okay. Now we are going to go forwards. So imagine that you're lifting a tray or something. Okay. Try to get both of those arms to come just about shoulder height in front of you. Okay. Not over close to your head, just at your shoulder height and back down. Again, keeping those elbows straight at your sides. You're coming up and back down. Okay. Good. You do have the option of doing one arm at a time, but really trying to keep those elbows straight. And just if you have to, you can just do a little bit of the motion. You don't do the full range. Okay, so you've got a few different options there. One at a time. Good. Okay, let's do 3, 2, 1. Great job. Okay. Last one with the band, okay? We made it to the end. So maybe wrap that band once if you can. We're gonna do the bicep curl. Okay, so that's when we're coming up to our shoulders, and then all the way back down. So like I mentioned, you may want to increase the weight, meaning increase the resistance if you can for this exercise. Okay, you really want to feel like you're working a little bit harder to get those hands up to your shoulders and that the band's trying to pull those arms back down. Okay, good job. Good, let's do 3, 2, 1, and then let's alternate. So right, left, right, left. Good job. Okay, good job. Nice and controlled. Can we pulse it again? So we're going to come up halfway and just go little tiny 3, 2, 1, all the way down. Let's try it again. Halfway and pulse 1, 2, 3, and down. Go all the way up, halfway, all the way up, halfway, all the way up, halfway, all the way up. Now go all the way down, halfway, all the way down, halfway, all the way down, halfway. Good job, one more. Good job. All right. So that concludes the exercise for the range of motion and strengthening video. Make sure that you cool down, shake everything out, have a sip of water, but you can follow the www.weCHC.org website and follow the next videos for level 2, fine motor and coordination exercises. Okay, thanks for joining us. Take care.